Hi creative friends, this is Soraya and thank you so much for being here. So today I am going to be working on the cover of Painting the Feminine art journal, and I'm so glad that I waited because I've worked through about a third of this book, and if I had worked on the cover when I first received the book, I think I would not have been able to set my intention and manage the balance of Connie's work with my work in a way that I'm more able to do now. And there's so much about this that I absolutely love, but right off the bat, I can tell you that I'm gonna set my intention for keeping Connie's composition, but I think I'm going to insert my visual language over the faces over here and over here. Now I don't know about this face over here because I do love a lot of what is going on, like, you know, the slash for the mouth, the lighter blue, I think it's in oil pastel against the darker blue. Like, I'm just really loving all of this part here. So I'm not sure what I want to do with this face, but I think I'm gonna cover these two faces up with collage. I'm also going to use my handmade collage, I think. And usually I don't like to use my handmade collage on the cover of stuff because, you know, inside the book it's protected, but outside it's just kind of, you know, like my collage, it's probably gonna stick out a little bit. So I don't know yet, but I really feel like because this is such a strong visual language, I'm gonna have to match that energy. Like, I can't be like wishy-washy. Otherwise, Connie's voice is going to like completely take it over, and I don't want that. I want there to be like a balance. So the first thing I'm going to do is just get out my viewfinder here and just try to really look at what is going on, what I want to keep, what I am going to cover up. I'm really loving this part over here and all of this, so I think I want to keep that as well. And I don't want to keep too much of Connie's work. Like, I'm thinking about 30 to 40%. And I've even thought about like doing a 50-50 because generally whenever I've set an intention, I've never done a 50-50 split. Now it's not going to be exactly 50-50, but that I think would require a lot of balancing to do a 50-50. And I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I don't know. But anyways, that's okay that I don't know. So what I'm going to start off is I'm just going to kind of, you know, like apply some collage here. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm looking for my blue Stabilo because I feel like I don't want to use a black Stabilo. I want to use a blue one, and for some reason, I mean, this is where I keep all my Stabilos, you guys, and I think I'm running out of my blue Stabilos. I usually buy them in like a pack of, I think 12 or 20 or whatever they come in, but I think I'm running out of my blue Stabilos. But because there's a lot of blue on the page already, I want to kind of retain that with my Stabilo. So I'm just gonna go over this and okay, so I want to cover up this writing here. I don't know, you know, I might keep this word over here, feminine. I might keep that. So I'm going to retain that for now because I think that's going to be like an interesting kind of a, I think that might be interesting to just leave feminine and cover up the painting and the art journal and all the other words there. So, and then, like, I really love the way this lady is positioned because her body is like facing out of the page, but her eyes are kind of being pulled this way, so that provides a lot of tension and interest in the painting. So I think I might want to keep that kind of like just the way she's positioned. But I think I'm gonna cover up like her face, which pains me greatly. I don't want to do that, but I don't want to keep too much of Connie's work. So Connie's got a really strong visual language, and when you're working in a book like this, you know, you have to match that energy, and it is a bit of a challenge, but the more you do it, the more comfortable you're gonna get, I guess. Because otherwise, if you don't match the energy, Connie's work will take over, and I don't want that. Like, that's never my intention, because I want to insert my visual language. I don't want her work to take over. And so working in a book like this, it like forces you to, you know, to strengthen your visual language. No matter how strong your visual language is, you can always strengthen it. And this book here, working like this, it just forces me to do that. So I think I'm gonna kind of go like so. And I don't know if I want to keep any of this here. I don't know yet, because see, I might keep the entirety of this face and not cover any of it at all. And so I think what I'm going to do, you guys, is I am going to use my collage, but I'm gonna like integrate it onto the page. And so what I mean by that is I'm gonna use this as an example here. And I did a video about these collage pieces that I did. And so say over here, I used hot glue to put my own handmade collage onto the piece here. So it's kind of like sticking up a bit, like it's you know, it's not integrated into the page. See, like, I don't know if the camera can pick up on that, but see, it's like sitting up, and so it gives it more body and dimension. But what I think I'm going to do with my handmade collage here is I am going to integrate it into the page, so it's gonna not sit on top of it, it's gonna become a part of it. And you guys, I was asked a question the other day, what is a hot glue gun? And so in North America, a hot glue gun, and I don't know where this person lived, I'm kind of thinking maybe this person lived overseas, because in America and in Canada, a hot glue gun is just like very easily accessible everywhere. Like, you can even go to, say, a Walmart and go to the craft section and you'll find it. But basically, this is a hot glue gun. Mine's really messy. I have about 3 or 4 of them, and this one is by EK Tools. And so basically, you plug it in, you wait about 5 minutes, and it heats up, and then there are these glue sticks, and I don't think I have, oh, right here. So you get a pack of, like, you can get a pack of 20 or 40 or whatever it is, and the whole situation is, you know, the gun and the sticks, they're very cheap. They're under like $10, I think. And so once it heats up, you put the glue in there and you push it in, and then you just push on this. Now it's not turned on now, but you push on it, and then the hot glue comes on, and then it'll stick whatever you're trying to stick. It is going to, like, you know, it's really gonna secure it. Yeah, so that's what a hot glue gun is, and it doesn't have to be expensive at all. But when you use a hot glue gun to stick stuff on, it is going to stick it in a way that it's going to rise above the page slightly. So it gives it more of a three-dimensional look, whereas when I use my Mod Podge, I'm integrating it into the page, onto the substrate. So it's gonna have a flatter look to it. And I think because this is a cover, I'm gonna go that route. So, and I'm just feeling really bold with this cover, you guys. So I think what I want to do is I want to mix like this delicious, it's like a pink, it's pink deep, and it's a Blick matte acrylic. So like, look at that, it's just so luscious. But I am going to mix it with my Cad Red Light, which is actually like this delicious orange. And you guys, I need to buy another tube of this because this one is like on its last legs, but I'm gonna squeeze everything I can out of it. And it's Liquitex Heavy Body. I think this tube, because it is a large tube, I think it runs about $35, but it does last me a long time. So I'm just feeling like super bold. Like, this is the cover, so, you know, I feel like I can be bold. And you guys, my desk is just getting smaller and smaller. I don't know why, but I'm just gonna try to move some of this stuff out of the way here. So I'm just gonna mix like this orange with this pink here and just see what happens. Ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's just like this really luscious color. And so what I'm gonna do is I might keep like the red hair for now, but I think I'm just going to kind of like give some dimension over here, and I want to cover up this green. Gonna cover up the green here. And now I am going to just go with the pink and just see how. Now I'm probably gonna use a lot of layers on this cover here. So you guys, just so you know, like the first 1 or 2 layers, if it gets like really super messy, don't worry about it. And actually I really like that, because to me the first couple of layers, the energy that you put down onto the page, it really does dictate the direction of where you're gonna go. And to me, I just look at it like it's super juicy and it's just like good energy. It's got flow. And I say that because, like, you know, like many years ago when I first started painting, like my work was so stilted, like it was so tight, and everything was so controlled. And I think that a lot of that might be because when I first started taking classes, I started taking traditional watercolor classes, and with watercolor, like not mixed media watercolor, but traditional watercolor requires a lot of planning. Like everything is planned, from the way you retain your whites. And when you like paint with mixed media or acrylics, it's like the reverse of that. I don't know how to explain it, but like you start off with a blank page and then you put everything down with mixed media. But with watercolor, you do start off with a white page, but then it's like you have to retain everything. So my work was really tight, and even present day, like I still love doing still lifes. I really do. I enjoy doing still lifes, and just I like painting different things, but I try for it not to be so tight. So I like it when things are juicy. Anyways, I'm sorry, I went off on a little tangent there, but that was my main point. And you know, this is just the first layer, so I'm gonna put many more layers on here. And I think I'm just gonna add like some of this paint over top here. And whether I keep, you know, all of this or not is anybody's guess. I mean, I might add so many more layers on top of it. But for right now, I think I'm happy with that. Now what I'm gonna do is, because I think I'm gonna keep that face, I think I'm gonna go with like, you know, a flesh colored face for these two figures here. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna do flesh colored for right now, but who knows later on what might happen. Ooh, and I just love it when it gets so like juicy like this. And then what I'm gonna do is I am going to allow it to completely dry and just retain a lot of that juiciness. Now, I probably don't want to keep all of this. Like, I do want to cover up this painting, you know, these words over here. So I don't know if I should get some blue out or what. And when I don't know something, I like ask myself the question, and then I hope that, you know, the answer is going to come to me at some point. Now, I do want to keep all of this pink part here because I really love that. But I think I'm gonna cover up this blue here. I think I'm gonna cover that up. And so I'm gonna get out my blue here, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna allow everything to just dry naturally. I'm not gonna use my heating tool. And like you guys, I have a lot of paint on my palette here, and I am not gonna let it go to waste at all. I've mentioned this before, but I'm gonna, you know, use my leftover paints here, either in my art journal or maybe collage or whatever it is, but I don't waste my paints. Just want to point that out because like look at all this, like look at all this juicy paint here. I'm not gonna waste it. Okay, so I am going to allow this to dry naturally. Now I do want to point out that the cover of the book is a different it's got a different finish on it than the inside pages, so the paint is drying a little bit differently, which is totally fine. Actually, I'm really enjoying it, and it's going to be a little bit different, so we're going to see how that's going to work. And also too, I'm going to cover all of this up here. I may keep that lady over there, but I'm going to cover that up. And let's see here, I think I'm gonna cover all of this up over here. And you know, like I said, this is gonna be like my first layer, and I'm gonna have to put like many other layers on top of this. So we are going to leave this alone for now, let it dry, and then I am going to come back to it. Let me see here. So you guys, I really am loving this. And like I said, if I had done this when I first received this book, I don't think I would have been confident enough to just go in and kind of, you know, change things. I think I would have been too cautious. So I'm really glad that I waited. Anyways, you guys, I am going to let this dry, and this is the end of part 1 of this, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.